The current trend among Hindu nationalists is to deny Aryan migration. They deny that it ever happened and also call it a conspiracy by left wing intellectuals. Despite the growing body of studies and research, Aryan migration fails to get a traction within Hindu right wingers. This is strange, considering that some earliest Hindu nationalists like Vinayak Savarkar and Bal Gangadhar Tilak actually championed Aryan migration theory and wrote in support of it. Why is that? Why do modern Hindu nationalists dislike the idea that some of their ancestors might have been European? After all, most of India's northeast has people whose ancestors might have migrated from Eastern Asia. It is also suggested that ancient Indians themselves came from Iran many thousand years ago. Both these events fail to irritate Hindu nationalists. So, why exactly Aryan migration alone is such a sensitive issue for right wing Hindus? The answer lies in the implications of Aryan migration. When Aryan invasion theory was suggested, it was suggested on the basis of linguistic similarities found between North Indian languages and European languages. Later on, genetic studies suggested that instead of an invasion, the movement of people was a migration in waves over many years. As the basis of Aryan migration was the linguistic link, it implied that Sanskrit language was not indigenous to India and had foreign origins. With this implication, it also becomes clear that ancient Hindu texts such as Vedas have foreign origin too. By extension, this theory seems to imply that the whole Vedic Hindu civilization had its origins outside of India. Not only that, Western scholars who studied Indian society seem to have found a solution for all the puzzles they encountered. They theorized that caste system, the Varna hierarchy, and untouchability are all linked to Aryan migration. The white skinned Aryans and their descendants placed themselves at the top of the social hierarchy and others below them. Hindu legends and mythologies speak nothing of any migration and always assumes India as the center of the Hindu universe. The cultural, social, and religious implications of Aryan migration are thus profound. It hurts Hindu nationalists as they are unable to accept the idea that their religious and cultural identity might have a foreign origin. Aryan migration negates both the eternal nature and India centric view of Vedic Hinduism, which is difficult to digest for Hindu nationalists. Hindu right wing supporters often show Muslims and Christians as having foreign origin. With the advent of Aryan migration theory, they lose this position of being the sole indigenous group. Now they cannot call anyone foreigner without the risk of being called a foreigner themselves. If you may recall, I already mentioned that Indians also have migration of ancient Iranians and ancient Chinese into India. But somehow these migrations do not get much attention from the Hindu right wing. Aryan migration theory also would have gone unnoticed. It is only the linguistic, religious, and social effects of Aryan migration which change the whole scenario. Now, Hindu nationalists have resorted to denying Aryan migration to prove both their own indigenousness and Vedic religion's eternal nature. Now, on a side note, there is a growing body of studies which suggests that the Dravidian language family spoken in the southern parts of India might have come from outside of India as well. The tentative links of the Dravidian languages to the Elamite language of ancient Iran shows a possibility that ancient Indians might have both genetic and linguistic links to the ancient Iranians. This is an exciting new possibility to decipher India's complicated social and linguistic structure. I'll cover more on this on another video, but this could pose a challenge to the Dravidian detractors of Hindu nationalists and may leave them without much ground under their own feet. Fortunately, modern researchers in the fields of genetics, linguistics, or archaeology do not care much about the nationalistic politics played over the theories. They deal with actual evidence, data, and present the results to the best of their knowledge. So far, the latest studies show strong evidence for Aryan migration. Hindu right wing supporters might have their own reasons for rejecting the studies and their results, but that doesn't change the scientific community's conviction in their own findings. The challenge for right wing Hindu nationalists is the need to explain the presence of four distinct language groups in India. The four language groups share no link with each other, and without migration from outside, it is tough to explain how they ended up together in India. Secondly, they need to explain the structural similarity of North Indian languages to other Indo European languages. At last, but not the least, they will also need to explain the various distinct facial features and skin colors found in India. How could Hindu nationalists explain these peculiar characteristics of Indian society if they continue to deny Aryan migration? This is a question they have to ask themselves and anyone else who agrees with them.